This video was brought to you in part by the supporters of the AMTV Patreon. Thank you. Hi there guys, it's Martyn here, and welcome back to another unboxing video. It's that time of the year again. We have a brand new classic Doctor Who Blu-ray collection set on the scene, and this time we're going to the late 80s. We're taking a look at Doctor Who The Collection Season 24, which is the first season to star Sylvester McCoy as the 7th Doctor. Now, I remember when this got announced way back in January. It feels like ages ago, doesn't it? 5 months. Some people were surprised. You know, I guess this isn't a season that people talk about a great deal. In fact, for many years, it was often, and in some cases, sadly, is still derided as being one of the worst seasons of Doctor Who ever. I wholeheartedly disagree. I find this one a lot of fun, and it's nice that in retrospect, when people have gone back to this, they found it a lot of fun too. You know, these stories are really fun. There's a lot of energy, a lot of jubilation, but we'll talk more about the stories in a minute. Let's have a look at the package itself. So as you can see, this is the limited edition format that they've been going with since the Ranger's inception. They have started doing the standard edition re-releases of the older titles, and I did a comparison video a few weeks ago, so definitely check that out if you haven't seen it. But this is in the limited edition format. So you've got the 7th Doctor there in his attire, you know, his grey coat, the scarf, the hat, wonderful stuff. But who else have we got on the cover, eh? Okay, you've got a whole range on the cover. You've got Kate O'Mara as the Rani, front and centre. Of course, she is the villain of the story time in the Rani. You've also got a dragon on her left. You've got the Caretaker on her right, one of the robots from Paradise Towers. You also have I always forget his name, but like the villain from Delta and the Bannermen, and you have a Tetrap, which is from Time of the Rani as well. So nice collection of monsters there, a nice little summary of Season 24. No big returning foes, you know, no Daleks, no Cybermen, but you don't always need them, do you? And as you can see in the bottom right, you have the new BBFC logo. I like these things. I know some people don't, but they're here to stay, so we can't do much about it. Also, you'll notice above it, this, despite being only 4 stories long as the season, it is 8 discs. So how have they wangled that? Well, we'll find out. Before we get into the nuts and bolts in this thing, I'll just spin it round. As you can see, there's the spine. It's got the image and the Season 24 moniker lining up nicely on the shelf with all your other Doctor Who Blu-rays. So before we open it, we'll take a look at the back as always and see what it has to say. So it says, continue your Doctor Who archive with the Ultimate Collector's Set featuring Time in the Rani, Paradise Towers, Delta and the Bannermen, and Dragonfire. All 14 episodes newly restored for Blu-ray and packed with extra material, including... we'll get to that. And just this artwork over here, you have the Doctor, Mel, and of course Ace appears at the very end of this season in the story Dragonfire. So what special features are we treated to this time around? Well, you have exclusive extended editions of all 4 stories, which is always really cool to see either extended scenes or deleted scenes. You have In Conversation, which is a returning feature. This time Matthew Sweet will chat with Sylvester McCoy. Really looking forward to delve into that one. You have Behind the Sofa, which is one of my favourite features of these Blu-ray sets. Where people from the show react to the episodes, basically. You have, of course, Sylvester McCoy, Bonnie Langford and Sophie Aldred. You also have Peter Davison, Janet Fielding and Sarah Sutton, who is one of my favourite trios for this series, and also Colin Baker and Michael Jaston, who played the Valeyard. So really looking forward to delving into those. You've got Here's to the Future, which is a brand new feature-length documentary which looks at Season 24. Because, of course, a lot of people remember this was still a bit of a rocky time from the show. We'd just come out of the trial season, so really excited to delve into that. You have documentaries, of course, which most were present on Blu-ray, not on Blu-ray, on DVD. Although Delta and the Bannerman didn't really get a making of back in the day, so it does get one here, which is great. You have The Doctor's Table, which I believe was first seen in the Trial of a Time Lord box set. This time you've got Sylvester McCoy, Bonnie Langford, Sophie Aldred, and Clive Merrison, who are reminiscing about their time making Season 24. You've got exclusive archive treats. The main thing about this, there's a load of footage from when they filmed it, both in studio and on location. Hours and hours and hours of it, apparently. So that'll keep you busy for a long time. You've got the studio and location footage there, as I mentioned it. You've also got a lot of appearances on TV at the time. You've got the 5.1 surround sound, isolated music scores, the Blu-ray trailer, and a PDF written archive. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful stuff. That's what we like to see. And just down here, it just says, it does feature special edition features that appeared on DVD, and it stars Sylvester McCoy, Bonnie Langford, and Sophie Aldred. And this package is carbon neutral. Nice. And one more little thing before we delve into the package itself, just take a look at this gorgeous artwork overall, which has been designed by Lee Binding, who is the artist who has designed all the covers for the Blu-ray range thus far, as well as a few other releases as well. He's actually done loads of Doctor Who-related artwork over the years. He's a great artist. You should definitely check him out. Give him a follow on Twitter. Check out his work. But yeah, as always, top job, Lee. Top job. But now, let's open this up and have a look at what's actually inside this, shall we? As always, it's like a big book. So we open it, and we've got some more artwork there. We've got Sylvester McCoy and Bonnie Langford with the TARDIS, which has just arrived in Paradise Towers. That's really cool artwork, and there's artwork behind, which we'll check out in a moment. But we also have to examine the discs, and as I said, there's 8 discs, despite there only being 4 stories. So what do we have? So you have Time and the Rani, disc 1, where Silver's in Colin Baker's coat, which looks great. You have Time and the Rani, disc 2, which is the extended edition. You have Paradise Towers Disc 1, Paradise Towers Disc 2, which is extended, of course, Delta and the Bannermen Disc 1, and Delta and the Bannermen Disc 2, the extended edition, and you have Dragonfire Disc 1 and Dragonfire Disc 2, which will have the extended edition. Also got Ace on there. Nice. So that's 8 discs in total. Glad they've managed to put that many on there. Woo, look at them go. It's always hard to film with these. But let me crack out the booklet and we'll take a look at that. So here is your booklet, Doctor Who The Collection Season 24, featuring that marvellous artwork by Lee, as mentioned earlier, that was on the back. And indeed, on the back of the booklet, as is tradition with these sets, you have the autograph cards of the day. So you've got one of Sylvester, one of Bonnie, and one of Sophie, which was signed, funnily enough, which is really cool. The main bulk of the booklet, as always, is a lot of information about the stories featured, and as obviously you get a rundown of the special features. Now, a lot of the information on the production stuff, I guess, isn't necessarily new. Like, if, like me, you read the Complete History series of books when they came out, a lot of that is in there. But this does give you a nice rundown, of the special features that are on here and on each disc. And you get some really cool photos as well. I think some are a bit rarer, some have been touched up to look a bit nicer, like there's Sylv filming for the title sequence, which is, I've always found that title sequence so good. But yeah, it's a nice 4-page booklet. No pages missing. I know some people had that with the last release for some reason, but it's all there. Look at that artwork, man, from Dragonfire. That's so, so good. But yeah, finishes off that booklet there. It's a nice little package. As always, some people don't read this. I like to read it anyway. As I say, a lot of the information I've read before, but a lot of people I guess wouldn't. Stumbling over my words today. But yeah, it's always nice to have these booklets filled with information. Also nice to have like a disc guide, to know what's on each disc, so you put in the right one in when you want to. But yeah, stellar work as always. In terms of the special features, I've only gone through disc 1 of Time in the Rani. I should say I'm still going through disc 1 of Time in the Rani. There's so much on it. But a lot of Time in the Rani's DVD extras are present, so they might move 1 or 2 around like they've been doing, but a lot seems to be here. Before I close it up, just draw attention to this artwork. So you've got the back artwork there, and then if you open it up, remove that little bit of buy our merchandise leaflet. You've got the image from Time in the Rani right there. So there's a tetrap on the scanner, and you've got the Doctor and Mel unconscious in the TARDIS. Dear. Lovely artwork, though, as always. Stellar work. But yeah, let's talk about the stories. If there's one good way to summarize the stories from season 24, I'd maybe say divisive. A lot of people are split on this season for various reasons, both back then in 1987 and indeed today. My thoughts, I enjoyed this a lot more in retrospect. When I was a kid, this was a season that I was, sort of taught to be like, this is the bad one. But it's a lot of fun. Time in the Rani, which I've recently just rewatched from this collection, first of all, looks gorgeous. I don't know how they managed to, do what they do with the footage, but it looks great to my eyes anyway. Time in the Rani is a lot of fun. Yes, it's not like the most brilliant story ever. Yes, a few things are a bit hokey, but if you lean into like the campiness and silliness of it, it's so much fun to traverse through. Paradise Towers is the second story. Some people consider it the best. It's a script by Stephen Wyatt, who I really admire as a writer. Yeah, I like it. Again, maybe had, like a lot of classic Who, had a bigger budget. It might have come off a bit better. Some elements, again, are a bit hokey. But, again, I like the idea. It's sort of that idea of new, fresh ideas and new writers coming to the programme. followed, of course, by Delta and the Bannerman, which was by Malcolm Cole. And again, new writer, new style. Again, very light-hearted. We're on a Welsh holiday camp, but a lot of people say it's a bit daft, it's a bit silly, and indeed, there are moments where it is. But again, lean into it, it's a lot of fun, and Ray, the character of Ray, is a great addition as well. And then finally, you have Dragonfire, which introduces Ace, as played by Sophie Aldred. It's a great little three-part story, actually, set on Iceworld. Edward Peel does a good job as well, as Kane. It's just a bit more, I guess, in the vein of Paradise Towers, a bit more serious. The script's by Ian Briggs, who would return a few years later. So you really get the variety. Like, they all have that element of, like, campy silliness. Paradise Towers and Dragonfire, I'd argue, are a bit more serious. But Time in the Rani and Delta and the Bannerman, whether intentional or not, are a lot of fun. So that's my thoughts on this season. I can definitely watch all 4 of these stories and get something out of it. Whether it was the intended result that the production team wanted is a different story, but I'm also impressed by the wealth of special features on here. I mean, as I said, one of the main draws is you're getting hours and hours of, like, archive footage from when they filmed this thing. Like, I saw in the trailer, but the sheer amount of footage they've collated from studio recordings, filming on location, things like that. There's so much to delve into here. So this box set is definitely going to keep me going for weeks on end. I can already guarantee it. But is it worth your time? That's the question. Well, what I will say is, of course, if you haven't delved into this era before, like the 7th Doctor, or even the classic series, I think it's no hesitation to... You could start with this one. You might think all of Classic Who's like this, and I'd argue it isn't. But all the stories are a lot of fun. You will get some sort of entertainment. Again, whether it's the entertainment you want is a different story, but it's certainly a lot of fun. Obviously, if you are a Who fan and you want to collect these, you'll be getting this anyway. It currently retails, I think, for about £45, which is what these have been for the most part. I'll be interested to see how quickly the standard edition of this comes out, because they're moving quite quick with those, but yeah, we might get one in... I don't think we'll get one in 2021. I think that's a bit optimistic because it's already June. I think we might get a standard edition in 2022, but we will have to wait and see. But yeah, 45 is the current price at the minute. You can get it from all the usual places. HMV, Amazon, Zoom, Argos apparently have been stocking them. And people have had different problems. Zavi as well, I should mention. Like, some people from Amazon have had damaged copies and stuff, or delays. But it really is hit or miss. But yeah, get it as quick as you can before the scalpers try and increase the price on it. But really happy this has come out. I love Sylvester McCoy's Doctor anyway. And even though his first season is probably my least favourite of the 3, it's a lot of fun. And I can't wait to reevaluate the other stories as I go through this set. But let me know in the comments, are you going to be picking up this set? Are you going to wait for the standard edition? Or if you're not a completionist, are you just going to pass on this one entirely? Or are you going to keep your DVDs? I know a lot of people are torn between that idea. And thank you for watching this video. Please leave a like on it if you enjoyed. And also subscribe to the channel. Help us out. We're on the race to 15k before the end of the year. I'm sure we can do it with your help. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And until the next video, I've been Adam Martyn from AMTV. And I'll see you next time.